is Andy Lipton, and welcome to Leading the Break. Today we have a special segment featuring Aneesah Morrow, the student athlete from LSU. Aneesah is very likely to be a first-round draft pick in this coming Monday's 2025 WNBA Draft. In December 2021, I went to see St. John's play DePaul in Carnesecca Arena. I saw a player who I thought was very special, Aneesah Morrow. A little bit after that game, I was able to interview Aneesah. In this segment, you'll see clips from that interview, as well as some footage of her playing in that St. John's game. And additionally, I asked Curt Miller about her game just a few days ago, and you'll hear from him as well. The thing that really got my attention was how you move inside the paint offensively, in terms of constantly setting picks, constantly trying to go for the offensive rebound, but moving in a very smooth and steady way that doesn't really bring attention to the refs. Look like you're very judicious, offensively going for offensive rebounds. At least in the St. John's game, you look very smart about going about it without drawing attention, without fouling.
When I first came in, for practices and stuff, it was tough. Going to set a screen here and then send a back screen and then send a ball screen. And then it was just tough. My mind was all over the place. But now I feel like I'm more comfortable with it. Not only does Coach Doug talk about setting the screen, he talk about why do you set the screen? Why setting the screen at this moment could get your teammates open. So I feel like understanding why I should set the screens made it a lot easier for me. And that's what's probably one of my biggest things for rebounding, the will to do something it has to be an effort. It's something that's not easy. It doesn't just come, it doesn't just fall in your hands. So it's something that you have to work for every day.
One thing I didn't notice, and you may have done it, so excuse me if I didn't pick it up. Can you put the ball on the floor from 15 feet out and drive to the hoop?
Yes.
Okay. No, I just didn't notice that.
Yeah, most of the time I get it, I'm in the paint.
Right.
I can dribble. Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. I had a feeling you could. Yeah.
I'm a little shifty.
Describe the game that you brought to DePaul and what improvements you've made since you've been at DePaul.
I would say the toughness and physicality in the post. I feel coming in as a freshman, the game is a lot tougher and a lot more physical. But I do want to give big thanks to DePaul and our trainers and everything, because they make sure that we're taking care of our body. Our strength trainer make sure that we're lifting correctly. So those are one of the two biggest things that I feel like I brought to the team this year so far.
Looks like your outside shot is really beautiful. I mean, high arcing, nice rotation. I got to believe you brought that to DePaul as well.
I could shoot before I got to DePaul. I don't shoot as much now, but Coach Doug doesn't limit me to not shooting. He tells us that if we're open, shoot it. It is something that I'm still working on. I feel like I should be knocking down shots more consistently than what I am now.
What things did Coach Bruno want you to get better at?
One of the main things he told me was defense. Sitting down and guarding some of the best players in the Big East is tough. They're quick, faster, more experienced than you. And as a freshman coming in, you have to be able to sit down and defend your player. A lot of girls on the inside are a lot stronger than I am. So that was kind of tough too, but he was very stern on defense, being able to defend your girl.
In the Notre Dame game, I looked at the stats. It looked like you fouled out. I guess they had 2 6'3" players. What was going on in that game, and is it difficult to guard people who are taller than you?
I've guarded plenty of players that were taller than me. I feel like that game, I let my player get position a lot of times, which made it a lot tougher for me to defend. And me getting in foul trouble was another part of that too, because now I'm trying to defend and jump up and block shots when I'm only only 6'1", 6'2", and they're 6'4". So it was a lot tougher. But one of the main things was just letting my player get position before me. It's just mainly staying on my toes. I feel like when my player gets position before me, it's probably because I wasn't paying attention or I'm not as active as I normally am on defense. So it's just staying on my toes and being active.
Foul shots. You really calm yourself at the line. You take a few seconds before you really get into the shot. Can you just talk about that?
One person that really helped me with that is my mother. always tell me like I work so hard and I get fouled, and most of the time I don't finish and get an N1, and like those are the easiest shots to make in the game. So normally I would go up there and I would rush them and miss them and get so frustrated with myself because not only was I not finished at the basket, I couldn't make free throws even though I was getting fouled. So she always told me like you have 10 seconds, like take your time and breathe. Take two deep breaths, which I do. I hold the ball on my side, and then I'll begin my free throw shooting process. My mother used to always beat us in one-on-ones. I have 4 siblings, so it's 5 of us. And she would beat us on one-on-ones. It didn't matter if it was a shooting competition, if we were actually like playing against her, like one-on-one or how would I say it, like a V, she would always win in the end. And now that we're older, like she basically say that she went into retirement, so we can't play her anymore. So she said that she went out a winner and she will stay a winner.
Curt, I got to see Aneesah Morrow play when she was a freshman at DePaul. Not only was I taken with her skills, but I thought she had a really good feel for the game. Whoever drafts her, will they be better suited to letting her be who she is or trying to transform her into a three-point shooting guard?
Think whichever franchise is fortunate to end up with her is getting a really talented player first and foremost. I personally, in my decade in this league, think that rebounding has translated, and players that rebounded in college ended up rebounding in the pros. And so one of the things that you have that just pops off the chart when she leads the nation in rebounding is she goes and gets the ball. And she's undersized. So it talks about tenacity, it talks about desire. Rebounding's a big, hustle statistic. So the systems, coaches will determine what they want her to do at the pro level and whoever ends up with her. But I think using the term in a good way, all of us are looking to add dogs to our locker room. And I think we all believe that she'll be a dog in a locker room.